We're getting this kitchen done and over with.
Finally.
We just finished priming the kitchen. It's all primed. It actually looks better in here already compared to what it was. There's an ounce of daylight left, so I'm gonna go rake some leaves. It's been super windy, and all the leaves on these big trees have started to fall. So it's like there's like huge amounts of leaves. Honey. So why is it important that I collect these leaves? Well, I'm trying to turn this into a really productive garden. Not just this garden space that was created by the previous owners, but actually like the majority of our 1.3 acres. And the thing about leaves is they can act as a brown layer in compost. So over here in my composter, I'm mixing huge amounts of brown leaves. I'm mixing that with kitchen scraps, but they're good on their own to compost as well. It's just slower because it doesn't have as much nitrogen in it. That helps, aid that bacterial breakdown that happens with compost. So it's a slow compost. If you were to just pile leaves in a massive pile and retain them so that the wind doesn't blow them away, they'd break down and they would turn into great topsoil. If you go into a hardwood forest, a maple grove, and you'll see there's inches of leaves and then great dark soil underneath that. And so that's how good soil is created in nature, is by layering and layering and years and years and years of composting the material. If you're growing something and you want to use a mulch, you can use leaves. And the reason you would want to use a mulch is because it helps retain moisture in the soil, and it helps keep weeds down as well. So for instance, this previous garden area here has been mulched. You can actually see that this is a mix. This is almost like a compost of straw and grass clippings, and then underneath is the soil that's been breaking down over years. So the previous owner has already been doing a mulch over this garden area. So I'm going to continue that fashion, but increase it. And the way you do that is by kind of collecting materials. You have to store these leaves so that they can start to break down. Otherwise, the wind will just take them away from your property. If there's a ditch, they'll go in the ditch. Speaking about leaves as mulch, there are problems with it too. And one of them is that wind. There is no way that these leaves in the state they are now will continue to stay here. This one was just, there needs to be some sort of wind block here, or I have to use a heavier mulch like a hay or something like that, because they are just getting blown around here. Let's collect the ones that are here now. They don't blow away or just break down into the soil here. I want them to go to a specific place, so I'm raking them up. You guys can't find anything of what that guy's saying interesting, can you? I mean, it's just ridiculous that you guys are actually watching these videos. It means a lot to me. Thank you guys so much. Now back to composting. Check that little moon out, guys. Oh, it's almost a half moon. It's beautiful out here. It's really, it really feels like winter now. You know, it doesn't even feel like winter. It feels like autumn, which is what it is, right? Oh, speaking of fall, this camera is falling down. It's just continually falling. So we burn actually a little bit of our trash right now because there is a landfill, but there's no pickup. So we have to deal with our waste. But the stuff that I am burning is pretty much cardboard. Everything else I sort and recycle or we use. Waste is a very interesting subject for homesteading that I don't think gets nearly as much attention as it actually deserves. But it's something that we'll talk about another time, I think, once we have stuff more established. Fire is amazing. It feels great to be out here. I'm having like a real hobo fire bin fire, and I feel blessed to be. Wow. I mean, I did not think I was going to be living this way so soon. You know, it's now happening. I'm now living how I want to be living, and I'm not doing what I want to be doing necessarily, but everything I do now has meaning. Like, imagine if it was just a job painting the kitchen. I mean, I probably would have gotten it done sooner because I would have had somebody, you know, telling me to do it. But yeah, painting for me has been tough. Painting has been one of the bigger chores of this renovation for me, and it's something I don't feel like I'm very good at, and I think that's why I don't like it, as well as I find it tedious, and a few other, you know, it's annoying having to move things. It's just annoying. I just hate painting. It's not for me. It really isn't. The act of doing it, though, is actually not that bad. That was fun. Emily and I just bumped tunes today. We listened to like great albums. We listened to Nectar by Joji. We listened to Tradition by Monsoon. And we listened to Dreamland by Glass Animals. And then we just threw our offline mix on, which was just from, you know, both of our accounts. And it was a perfect blend of sort of both of our musics that we were able to just sort of vibe out and have fun while actually painting. So today has been better than, you know, the other days of prepping the paint, but it's been crazy trying to paint the kitchen, because a kitchen is a space that you use all the time. We use the kitchen all the time. We have food in the morning, then we have to clean that area to be able to prep it. Then there's lunch, and that comes pretty soon after. So if you don't get to, you know, clean and do shit, like we pretty much had to just eat like chips for lunch today. I think I've had Cheerios and chips and a muffin, like seriously, because living in a construction zone and sucks. And so we don't have a proper kitchen when we're working in the kitchen. It's brutal. So now Emily's in there, she's cleaning up, she's getting dinner ready. I'm out here burning garbage and sitting and talking to a camera. So I feel like I should get back to that. But what I wanted to say, I guess, was that living in a construction zone is tough. And it's something that you hear a lot. I've heard it a lot by other people who have done that or are into building. Oh, don't live in a construction zone. Things will never get done. That's what I hear, is things will never get done. But what I don't hear about is things have to be done, and you're living there, and the inconvenience that causes, and also the extra amount of work that it causes on both ends. This is an interesting challenge, I think, and something that I wasn't aware of, is the emotional toll that living in a construction zone has. It'll stretch you out a little bit. It'll make you have to adapt. And that's what we've been doing the past couple of days, is having to adapt. This life that we're living is not slowing down. I do not see when I will ever have a day in my life again where I'll just be chilling. Because life has officially started, in my opinion. I'm sitting here on my own property, talking to you, burning my garbage, looking at the moon, not a care in the fucking world out here, man. This is awesome. This is what it's all fucking about, you know? It's so crazy that we get to have this experience. We are so fucking blessed to be able to have the ups and downs and the knowledge and the awareness. You know, other animals around us, they don't seem to have this sort of sense of awareness that humans possess, where we're aware of sort of who we are, and we're sort of hyper aware, right? We became so aware that now we're just too tuned in, and people have to disassociate from being so aware, and then, you know, then they're not connected purposefully. And there's all sorts of things that happen because of this hyper awareness that we have as creatures. But one of them is the ability to recognize what we're experiencing. That's what life is about fucking taking a moment to live. And it's about doing that as much as possible. It's not about hedonism, it's not about seeking pleasure, it's about seeking life. And it's not like the moment is always blissful. I'm not seeking bliss. It happens to be blissful most cases, but I'm just seeking the moment. I want the moment if it's fucked up, if it's not blissful, if it's not good. I want it because I want to experience it so that I don't have to keep experiencing it. You know what I mean? When you're totally aware, you can decide how you want to be. Oh baby, it looks white in these walls, bruh. These walls look nice and primed. Hey, Ronnie? Oh my god, I have paint all over my face.
Yeah, you're a pinky boy.
Wow. I'm going gray.
You're old gray.
Here's another thing that sucks about living in a construction zone. Paint fumes. We have the weirdest sensation from these paint fumes. Both, like, Emily was complaining about them, and then I was like, yeah, it feels like my temples are all heavy and full of like liquid. And I'm like, top heavy, but specifically my temples. And she's like, yeah, that's the same thing to me. So it's like these paint fumes are doing something.